Okay, welcome to the 1213 notes. I know some of you have probably watched it without sound. This time I'm pretty sure we got the sound issues all worked out. So here we go. This will be a little bit quick, again, because some of you have already watched it without the sound. So 1-2 is going to talk about properties of real numbers. This is all review, guys. This is stuff that you've done before. We're going to use words like opposite, additive inverse, reciprocal, multiplicative inverse. These are things that you've done, things that you know. The set of real numbers, there's natural, whole, integers, rational, and then irrational. Again, it's all stuff you know, review stuff for you. And then just some basic questions. You know, your school's sponsoring a charity race. Which set of numbers best describes the number of people who participate? The correct answer here is A. People who participate, that's natural numbers. I suppose there's not a whole lot to do here. P is a natural number. The got it problem right here, if each participant made a donation, which set would represent the money? Well, we could potentially have a decimal. So that would be rational numbers. Again, easy stuff you know. Graphing lines, the only thing I would say here, you're going to have a calculator almost all the time in this class. If you didn't have a calculator, for example, for the got it, square root of 3, well, the square root of 1 is 1, and the square root of 4 is 2. So you know that the square root of 3 is somewhere in between here. So if you were asked to graph that, you would put it in between 1 and 2. But other than that, this stuff for us should be no problem. Same thing here. If you were to do this without a calculator, and you're comparing these two, let's take a look at the got it at 3a. Square root of 26, well, that's close to 25, and the square root of 25 is 5. So that's about 5. The square root of 26 is about 5. And then 6.25. Well, 6.25 is more, so it's really just that easy. Part B, if A, B, and C are real numbers, such that A is less than B and B is less than C, how do they compare? Well, A is less than C in that scenario. The easy way to do this, just give these actual numbers. 2 is less than 3, and then 3 is less than 4. Well, then 2 is less than 4. That's a really easy way to look at it. Let's move on. We have the opposite or additive inverse, and that's how we get something to 0. And then reciprocal or multiplicative inverse, and that's how we get a number to 1. And then here's a list of properties that you know, commutative, associative, all this stuff. You've done this stuff for years and years and years and years. So let's see, identifying which property is being illustrated. Well, this is the inverse property of multiplication. The product is 1. Here, we switch the order between 3 times 4 and 4 times 3. When we reorder them, that's commutative property, and because it's multiplying. Commutative works, commutative and associative. Both of those have multiplication. Yikes, my goodness, that is ugly. Both of those have multiplication and addition as options, okay? Which property does this illustrate? Pause the video for a second right here, try that on your own, and it won't take but a minute. Okay, so you unpaused. For A, that's distributive. Here, we're distributing 3 to both those. That's distributive. For B, we're just going to go one step at a time, and we're going to get this to equal this. Okay, that may have given you a little bit of, not sure what to do. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to change the order there. So that's A plus, and then this is negative A, and that's a positive 3. We can change the order because of the commutative property, right? I'm going to stop writing. Then I'm going to switch the parentheses. I'm going to make this A plus negative A, and put that in parentheses, plus 3. And I can do that because the we can do that because of the associative property. Okay, then A plus negative A. Well, A plus negative A is 0. And we can do that if you're not sure. Scroll right back up and look at it. It was right up at the top there. That's the additive inverse, okay? Additive inverse. And then 0 plus 3 is 3, and we know that because of identity. All right, so easy stuff. Let's take a look at 1, 3. That's it for properties. You got to know them, but again, that's a long time coming. Algebraic expressions, this stuff, you guys know this stuff. Here we're going from numbers and variables to words. From words to numbers and variables. So 7 fewer than a number T, that's C. They got it. Which algebraic expression models the phrase 2 times the sum of A and B? When I see the sum of A and B, that instantly tells me it's parentheses, so I know that the answer is H. Okay? If that's not something you remember, that's something that I would make note of. When we see this, that tells me right away that I'm going to have parentheses as part of my answer. Okay? So that's just something to know. Anytime I see that, I'm going to have some sort of expression in parentheses. That's why I knew the A plus B was there. Okay, modeling a situation with variables in the operations. This again, all Algebra 1 stuff, and even some of that before. So you had $150, but you're spending $2 a day. Which algebraic expression models this? So you have to make one up. So 150 is how much you started with, and then you're adding $2, and I'll say D for day. Really easy here. Problem 3, this is where you're given an expression, you have to plug stuff in and then get something out, whether it has exponents or fractions or whatever. Not too hard. Let's go ahead and do this one together to make sure everybody understands. Actually, you know what? Change that. Pause the video, try this on your own, and then we'll check it. Pause the video now. Okay, hopefully for A, everybody got 18. If you didn't, try it again. If you still don't get it, that's one you're going to want to ask me about in class. For B, will it exchange if the parentheses, will it change if the parentheses are removed? Yeah, it does, because with the parentheses there, we can distribute and get 2x squared minus 2y squared. With no parentheses, it would just be 2x squared minus y squared, and those are not equal. So that's the difference there. Problem 4 is just now you're writing it and evaluating. So you're changing it from like a word problem to an expression, and then you're going to evaluate for something. So if a basketball team can score, this many 2-pointers, that many 3-pointers, and then free throws. So let's come up with an equation. We'll say 2-point shots. We'll say those are worth 2, obviously, and we'll say 2D, D for dose, and then plus 3-point shots, 3T for trace. And then 1-point free throws, 1U for Uno. And then if we actually plug 5, let's see, 10 2-point shots, well, that's 20. 5 3-point shots, that's 15. Plus 7 free throws, and I get 42 points. So you lost that game. An expression that is a number, a variable, you guys know this stuff, the term, that's a term, okay? The coefficient is the number out in front. A constant term is one with no variable. This, again, moving really fast. That's because you guys know how to do this stuff. Like terms, we want to make sure like terms have the exact same variable and the exact same power. Otherwise, you cannot add them, okay? You cannot add terms that aren't exactly the same. So here, the like terms are there's the x squareds, there's the y squareds. We combine those, we get this. Take a second, pause the video right here, and see what you get for these two answers. Go ahead and pause the video now. Okay, so you've unpaused. Let's take a look at our answers, make sure that we're all getting the same thing. For A, we should get negative 3j squared minus 7k plus 5j. Hopefully that's what you got. And for part B, hopefully you got 12a minus 53b. If you didn't, try them again. If you still don't, talk to me in class and we'll get these worked out on the board, make sure everybody's got them. Okay? That's it. If you want to take a look at the lesson check, there's one, there's the other. You don't have to do them. I repeat, you don't have to do them. We're going to look at those together in class. All right? Good job. Sorry about the sound glitch. Hopefully you guys are watching this version, not the other version. Yeah, see you next time. Bye.